When you seek what is already created as if it were something that is non-existent, you deny its very creation. You ignore the fact it already exists. You are seeking that which is as if it were not. That is why you cannot find what it is you seek. Because in the simple act of searching, you are offering a frequency of non-existence. Now, let us take the opposite approach. When you relax in the knowing that everything already is, and you enjoy that knowing, you give yourself an opportunity to enjoy its arrival into your awareness. You certainly can bring yourself to that experience by focusing on the vibration that it carries. That is one way. And if that is the way that you have decided will bring you the most joy, then go right ahead and shift your frequency to match that of the desired experience, object, person, etc. There is also the approach of enjoying every experience you are having right now and noticing that as you do enjoy whatever it is you are doing, that more things that are of the frequency of joy find their way to you. If this is more to your liking, then take that approach to your life. It is simply a matter of choice. It is the process of becoming that you are here for. So as you become more, you experience more. You know more of that which you already are. When the others in your life are asking you for your time, your attention, your love, and you wish to be off doing something else, there are times when you will feel that you are abandoning someone. Like you are not being as good, or as giving, as you can be. When you are in alignment with those experiences, you both feel it. You feel the urge to help, and they wish to receive what you have to give. When you feel that the other is trying to get something from you that you do not wish to give, then there is an imbalance. And there is no reason for you to feel guilt about living your life, having your own preferences. There is no abandonment taking place, since you are all one. You cannot possibly be separate from each other. And if someone is choosing to play out that game, then there is no amount of attention you could give that would satisfy of separation. When you set out to begin your day, do so with the attention to line up with those who will be able to receive what you have to give and intend to be put in the presence of those who you will enjoy being of service to. Giving your attention to, and offering your love, you are capable of living in joy and in service, with complete freedom. Give yourselves that permission to experience your life the way you wish to experience it, and to allow others to choose the lives they experience, even if, from their perspective, it is not a choice. You know that everything is a choice, and you can live your lives accordingly. Remember that always you are the totality of your experience. You are not just a body with a personality and a face and a name. You are this entire experience, and everything and everyone. You are like little gods in your individual experiences. So, if you think of the way that God creates everything and you recognize that in order to create, God had to use something. God needed raw materials. So God used God to create all that is. And God experiences itself through those many aspects that have been created. This is what you do now. You use yourselves to create experiences for yourselves. That is why we say nothing is outside of you, nothing is separate from you. Because you use your own energy to create everything, everyone. That is not to say that the others do not exist. But they only exist in the way that you experience them for you. That is a unique experience, another aspect of God. Without you, the experiencer, that version of that being would not exist in that way. So remember that there really is only you. You and your vibration. That is all. As you continue on your journey, you will begin to have an experience of more of you. More will be included in the totality of you. So you will begin to experience yourself as more beings. And as you continue to evolve, that process will continue, and you will know yourself as more and more and more, until you are all knowing yourselves all as one. That is the reascension process. Enjoy the journey, and when you are able to forgive everyone, you will find that there is peace inside you. Before you do this, you may want to get a little angry. Yes, get it all out. Allow yourselves to feel what you feel. Be honest about where you are. You can't skip over anything, not emotionally. We are promoters of letting yourselves feel. We see you filling your days with movement, words, thoughts. But how much time do you set aside to feel? How often do you stop everything to simply feel what is inside of you? Simmering beneath the surface? We know that you would like to ignore it so that you can get on with your day. All the important things. You only have important things so that you can feel what you need to feel. So we insist that you feel. We are stubborn like this. You get to decide how you do it. But you will. You will experience these emotions because they are a part of you and you cannot escape them. Listen. Open. We are asking you and encouraging you to be more present and more aware. These are your tools for reascension. Observe your process. Enjoy your journey. When you are in service to humanity, you are giving what it is you came here to give. It will be you who decides what type of world you live in. As you grab for more, you become less. As you give more, you radiate more. You become more. You have more. You are more. You will find that there is no end to the energy you have access to. The fuel of your life force comes from an infinite source, and so does everything else. While it may look finite, it is anything but. You have already become aware of the fact that your universe is infinite and expanding. You are your universe. You are the one who determines how much of that universe is flowing through you. You tighten up and restrict the flow. You open up and allow the flow. The flow is also you. So, what type of world do you want to live in? Do you want to live in the world of infinite flow? Or do you want to live in the world of limited resources? Mine. Yours. What are you preparing for? What world are you carving out with your energy in this moment? What is the reflection you are going to get from where it is you are focusing right now? Take notice of how much time you spend thinking about, worrying about, how much there is to go around. And how much time do you spend simply letting all of it go and noticing that there is still more? There is always more. You have infinite awareness because you are infinite. Why would your world be anything but that which is you? Do you think there is a finite amount of love, joy, peace? Perhaps at times you do. And now you are witnessing the expansion and noticing that there is only lack where you create lack to be. Find where it is you flow best and go to that place to restore your faith in infinity. Once you have a grasp on your frequency, you have all the power in the universe. And you will discover that it is the most enjoyable way to go about living. You will see reflections instantaneously, brought to you by reverberating energy. Because you are energetic beings. And you are pulsating out a frequency. That is why you create 100% of your reality. And we want you to acknowledge this. We want you to see your part, always, in your creations. We ask that you give yourselves time to do this because we want you to know how powerful you are. And because you get to see faster results than you would if you were to go about it the old-fashioned way, the way of thought and action and word. Those are the ways of the many throughout history. We want you to be the few, who in the now, decide you have more power. You are power. You are frequency. We are wanting you to give a little more attention to that which you are vibrating. That which you are focusing on, that which you are feeling in your body. We want you to feel. We want you to observe. We want you to be present. And we want you to decide. It is not hard to determine how it is you want to feel. It is not hard to reach for that feeling. What is hard for you is letting go. You want to hold on to the old ways because you want to be validated. You want to be right. You could not possibly be wrong and you could not possibly be invalid. There you go. Now you can focus on what really matters. Be like the moth who is attracted to the light, and know that you are also the light itself. You are vibrational beings. Having an experience that is reflection-based. One of you is not better than another. You are just different. So celebrate your differences because without that reflection over there, you could not have this reflection over here. You must have differences. You must be all in order to have a fuller experience of yourself and your world. There is no separation, but there is variety. What you want is harmony amongst the variety. You want to create a beautiful symphony of sound. In order to do so, having more instruments is better. They play off one another wonderfully. And so can you. You can, and you will have your different perspectives, and you must be willing to work together to create that harmonious symphony, where all the parts, all the instruments, all the players, get their say, have their participation. You are becoming more. More will be entering the symphony hall. You are expanding your awareness of the others who have been. And you will be including more as well. As a human race, you might as well begin with each other, with seeing the value in everyone. No matter how different they look, no matter how differently they think. You serve all when you allow another to have their voice, to play their part. Now is the time to love that which is different. You are love, and you are all different. Better to choose a fractured perspective than none at all. You see, you are in an understanding of reality that is but a portion of the truth. So you are going to have a limited perspective. But you are not supposed to see all, for that will ruin what it is you set out to experience. You cannot shatter all the illusions at once. So enjoy the reality you are experiencing while holding the knowledge that it is but a fraction. That is how you live in the flow. You understand that there is no limitation that is not self-imposed. And then you also recognize that the limitation that you have chosen does not mean that you are faulty in some way. It is not because you are not doing it right that you see the world in the way that you do. What you are wanting to do is to see the beauty in the self-imposed, illusionary, fraction of what is. That is really what you are here to do. You are not here just to remove the illusion. That will be a natural part of the process of your evolution. You cannot stop yourselves from shattering those illusions. What you can do, what you do have the power to do in this moment is to be as fully here and as wholly you as you can be, and to make the most of this picture of reality that you have. When you see that you are love having an experience of itself, and you look for evidence of the love that you are, you take on the most powerful perspective that there is. Not matter what reality you are in. This is the purest perspective that you can hold. It is true for all dimensions. It is what you are here to discover and to spread to each and every corner of the universe. Understand that because you are frequency beings. You have the ability to sense what is real and true for you, what is compatible for you and yours, and what is not. You are able to discern frequency, yet many of you do not own this ability. So you do not heed those signals that you get, the ones that say, yes, yes, yes. This is a match for you. And those that say, no, not today. It is your ability to feel and interpret that is your greatest gift, your sensing. It is why you take steps that may seem illogical, at times, to you. You don't know why you do something. You can't explain it. It seems irrational. Get used to that, for you are going to be experiencing less and less of that rational mind of yours. You are going to prefer the way of frequency, the way of knowing, sensing, intuiting. It is your number one sense, not your sixth. It is number one. And when you give it that priority it deserves, you will begin to exercise that talent, that ability of yours, more frequently, and with more success. It is your access to those like us. We are more of a feeling than we are a group of beings who float around like disembodied minds. We are frequency beings as well, and we share with you our frequency. And we want you to share yours. Explore your frequency, give yourselves a frequency tune-up. Feel around for frequency. Ask yourself, what is the frequency of that? You will begin to realize that it is not your place to insist that one frequency is better than another. It is only your purpose to determine whether a frequency is compatible with yours and to follow that calling. It is your free will in action. Why do you wish to live in a world where you will only encounter that which pleases you? Why do you seek to create a world where there will be no challenges? Why do you look for that type of existence? Why would you? How would you ever experience yourself as becoming more if you were only to encounter blissful experience after blissful experience? There would be no point to that type of existence. But you all seek it. You all want to live in a perfect world. You all want to be the perfect version of yourself. You all seek to eliminate all things that are by your definition wrong, evil, inappropriate. Begin to appreciate those things for giving you a reason to live, a reason to grow, a reason to focus. So that is your assignment. We want you to start blessing your burdens. We want you to start seeing them as puzzle pieces, lying on the table. You do not curse the unfinished puzzle. You enjoy the process of putting the pieces into place, into creating the whole image that you can see, already existing. Begin to see your life in the same way, with the same eagerness and excitement for the journey of creation. You will have a wonderful life, and you will continue to seek out more puzzles. It is the way you wanted it. You see, you created the puzzle, you are the puzzle. And you enjoy having friends along to sit at the table with you to put it all together with those who love you and with those you love, helping each other see the bigger picture. We are giving you samples of the frequency you will have access to when you are aligned with the fifth dimensional frequency. It is where you exist in the heart that you are moving into. To acquaint yourselves with the frequency, you have begun to give yourselves a taste, and you have decided that this is what you are seeking, that this is a pleasing vibration to exist in. So you continue, and you are moving towards the light. You are giving yourselves more opportunities to exist in that frequency. You know this. You feel it. You enjoy exploring it further. When you decide that you are choosing it, when you realize that it is something that you can and do summon, as an experience, that is when you will begin living it most of the time. More of the time, and eventually, all of the time. You are choosing each and every moment. You make the choice to exist in a frequency. And when you notice that you are having one of those high-frequency experiences, make a note of what you feel in your body. Make it a placeholder that you can find easily with simply a desire and an intention. Set yourself up in joy. It is the purpose of your life. Prepare for more. Have you begun to recognize your divinity? You have a notion that says you know you are a divine being, but how often do you experience yourself as divinity? In what ways do you actualize this? Where are you operating as divine source energy in your life, and where are you holding to the concept of yourself as a separate ego consciousness? When you are focusing on your heart and you are feeling for your divine nature, you can have and you will have that experience. Take from yourself what is divine, and magnify those aspects of yourself. You have a system in place where you operate as divine source energy, and you have a notion of yourself as love in certain moments. And you restrict that knowing to those moments. You have yet to allow yourself to be in the frequency of love when you encounter something that you cannot see through those eyes, that you will not. You would rather look away. But heaven is all-inclusive. Self will not discriminate. So when you discriminate, you separate yourself from that which is love, from that which is source. That is your fall from grace, and you are, at this time, returning to the love that you are. Have you had the experience of letting go? When you do, you will realize what you are holding on to was impermanent anyway. There is nothing that you can hold on to forever. For everything will be in a state of flux for all eternity. Because you feel a certain way in a moment of time, you want to freeze that moment, because you think it is the moment itself that you seek. But you really want that feeling that you associate with the moment. You want that feeling, and that feeling is permanent. That feeling is forever. That feeling is within you at all times. You always have access to it. Isn't that wonderfully liberating to know? Now you need not hold on to anything at all. You don't need anything to access that feeling, because it is already in you. We will acknowledge that it is easier to find that feeling in certain company, or when certain circumstances are taking place, when you are in your favorite spot, doing what you love to do, with people that you love. It is easier, yes, to find it. But it is more empowering to hold that state of being no matter what is going on around you and no matter whom you are interacting with. It is a shift in your awareness that will take you to that place. It is up to you to seek it out, to practice being there because it is where you want to be. It is who you really are, because you get to decide where you play and with whom. You are having a unique experience. You know that it is yours and no one else's. It is the one thing that truly belongs to you in this life, your experience of it. We are going to provide you with a new way of looking at what it is, your perspective. It is not only a matter of your filters coloring the experience you have, coloring the circumstances and events, the people, the actions, the words. It is also your relationship to all that is. How do you feel about yourself in relationship to the source of all things? That is the primary determiner of what you take away from an experience, how you perceive it. So if you make it your priority to examine that relationship, rather than dissecting the details of what has happened or needing to control what will happen, you can simply alter the way you perceive all things. By giving yourself the opportunity to explore who it is you think you are and how it is you relate to Source. This one factor will significantly affect every single thing in your life, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter what happens. This is the secret formula for living happily ever after. Because you are in density, you are going to have experiences that reflect that particular reality. You are having a more permanent seeming experience of the universe. That is why it seems hard to change. Because when you look at matter in its solid form and you think about changing it, moving it, destroying it, you have your work cut out for you. Begin to see matter, no matter how hard, no matter big, no matter how dense, as malleable energy. And also, know that the only thing that you need to change is the vibration you offer. You can have an experience of changing matter, if you want. But you don't have to have that experience to have different surroundings, or to move something from one place to another. You do not have to do your adjustments in a linear way. Make leaps to other realities where everything is different, including yourself. We want you to practice playing with this idea. But we want you to do it in a different way than you would think to do it. Instead of thinking about where it is you want to be, what it would look like, where things would be, what would be there, we want you to focus on a frequency of what the place you want to be would feel like. You all know that some places that you've been feel better than others to you. So remember the feeling you got when you walked onto that beach or into that house or through that forest. Put yourself now into that vibrational state of being without needing to travel there in your mind. Give yourself the opportunity then to notice how soon you find yourself in a place that has a similar frequency to the one you offered. This is how you navigate the fifth. So start now and do have fun. You were not created to exist on one linear path. You were not given a set of instructions. You were not sent here, being asked to fulfill a destiny. You are not puppets. You are able to deliberately focus in whatever direction you choose. It is how you live that is the most important choice you make. It is what you came here to experience. It is the way that you go down your path that is the most significant thing about your life. We would ask that you think not the path itself, since it is not a solid, straight, linear experience. We would like for you to notice more how you are making your way down the path you are on. Be aware and welcome a partner that will assist you. You are all moving together. Even though you are the only one who is choosing for yourself. That is what makes you a creator. You are always in the process of creating a new understanding of all that is. When the ideas that you hold are in step with the reality you wish to experience, you get a preview. When you are in vibrational harmony with the reality you seek to experience, you get to live it fully. You are not so much thinking beings. You are vibrational beings. Those vibrations are what result in the thoughts, emotions, and the circumstances that you experience in your lives. This is why we are proponents of changing the way that you vibrate, rather than attempting to change the way that you think or feel. Well, how do you do this then? First, let us say you already know how. Also, we do not suggest that you seek to alter your vibration from a place of feeling out of sorts, out of alignment, out of step. Those are not the times in which you will have a tremendous amount of success. Because you must allow yourselves those experiences. And you must allow those experiences to run through you without judgment and without contraction of your being. Let yourself fully experience the pain. Do not attempt to run away. It will subside, if you allow it. When you find yourself once again in a state of calm, neutral, balance, that is when you make your intention to offer a higher vibrational frequency. That you can do because you already have. And you know when something feels the way that you desire to feel, and when something feels off to you. So to simply say to yourself, I intend to offer the frequency of joy, and to allow yourself then to feel around for it, until you notice that it is clicking into place. And then hold that frequency for as long as you can. Now, many of you will do this because you want results. You want to see some evidence that you have done it correctly, or that this stuff really works. Look for your evidence in your state of being. Let that be what it is you are seeking. Because no matter what happens, you can choose a state of being, and you can see what is happening from that state of being. And this is the way to live unconditionally. We welcome you to that experience. You are wanting to make sense of your seemingly linear lifetimes. You want to give meaning to them. You want to see a progression. You want to see progress. You are not able to do this from where you are. It is unnecessary and puts you into a linear framework of experience. We would rather that you see yourselves as being able to have one experience that is completely unrelated to the next. You are going to find a certain element of repetition in your lives that makes you feel comfortable with the familiar, the practiced. But what is more important for you is to recognize that there is no need to repeat the same thing, to have the same experience, over and over. It is not what you are really about. You are about expansion. You are about creating new worlds, experiencing new things, having new adventures. So allow yourselves to change. Allow yourselves to move from one thing to another, without needing there to be any logical sequencing. Feel the freedom in that. Feel how that way of being serves you, and know that this is where you are headed. It is where you have always been. And yet, now you can take full ownership of yourselves as beings who see the power in living one moment at a time. When you decide to exist for this moment and set aside any ideas about what has happened, what may happen, even what you desire to happen, and you stay present with where you are, what you feel, what is happening in your immediate surroundings, then you will have what it is that you want. See, you will only delay progress and manifestation when you exist outside of your now moment. If you were to become a fully present individual, you would create instantaneously because you would be only focused on your present state of being. It is only by noticing where it is you are vibrating that you can shift how it is you are vibrating. When you take the initiative to go within, to notice, and to have a frequency adjustment, that is when you get to live in the range of frequency that you desire. This is everything that you truly want. We know that you often look for things outside of yourself to attain the frequency state that you wish to hold, but we assure you, once you have those things, you will still need to adjust your own frequency levels. You will not switch to autopilot mode just because everything in your life is the way you want it to be. All that you seek is in this now moment, because this now moment is all there is. You experience yourselves as individuals, as unique. You get to have that experience because it serves the whole. It serves the whole to be unique and individual. It serves all for you to be you. You do not have to be anything other than what you desire to be. That is not in service to the whole, to conform. So, even if you are always marching to the beat of your own drummer, guess what? That drummer is Source. That is the call of Source. So by being yourself, you are enacting God's will. You are not needing one other person to understand, to validate, to give you a thumbs up. You are your own cheering section, and you are always doing what you came here to do, no matter how it seems. No matter how silly it is, what you are doing seems to be. That is your purpose in that moment, to be doing exactly what it is you are doing. We want you to discover more of who you are. That is really what will be the most beneficial experience you can have. And when you benefit yourself, you benefit the whole. So begin noticing more of when you are being you and when you are being what it is you think someone else wants you to be. And notice how that feels. Notice the difference between taking your own steps and waiting for someone else to give you the green light to do what it is you want to do. Or when someone else is telling you what to do. Or telling you to do something you don't want to do. How does it serve you to be who you are not? You must think that it does, because we see many of you acting, pretending, playing a role that does not feel quite right. That is what we would call a waste of your time. We would like to invite you to experience a new sensation. One that you have never allowed yourselves to experience before. That is the sensation of totality. The reality of your life is that you are it. Your life is not something you are living. It is something you are being. This includes all that you see around you. Everything that happens in your world is a projection of that which you are. You are experiencing yourselves as a being who exists within that world, but you cannot separate yourselves from it. You are it and it is you. We want you to begin experiencing all that is around you as a more complete picture of that which you have been believing yourselves to be. In your limited perspective of self as individual, inhabiting a body, you tend to see the world as having its own set of desires. And as you think of yourselves as existing within it with your desires, you think you must work within this outside being you call your world. And you must temper yourselves to be able to have a reasonably harmonious experience within it. But in truth, when you have harmony within you, there will be nothing but that in the world around you. As you love yourselves more, the world will become a more loving place. As you love your world, you see what you have always been as the love you are. And you will exist within that love, harmoniously. The changes that you make are for the sake of allowing yourselves to experience a shift in energy. There is no need for you to do what you are doing. Because you are already beings of the highest frequency. You are already Source. So this life that you are living is about experiencing a shift. Not because it is necessary, but because you wanted to know what it would be like. Because you are not little, insignificant, defective beings who must go through a series of tests before you can become one with God. That is not the story we want you to believe. You are already that which is God, and you are focusing yourselves into a reality where you can experience separation. Because you wanted to experience reintegration, you have to have one to have the other. It has been challenging. You are aware of how challenging it has been. That is because you enjoy a challenge. You have all the time in the world. Literally. So why not give yourselves as many challenges as you could? You knew that you could never be separate from Source, but you wanted that experience. So here you are, ready to reintegrate. And you will. And we will. And it will be fun. In the creation of the world you seek. You are getting to play with the notion of having versus not having. When you discover that you are always creating one or the other, it will be easier for you to choose. There is a value in not having that you find difficult to understand. It is not complicated. To not have is to allow the experience of having. There cannot be one without the other, you see. So you need to give yourself one experience so that you can have another experience. You want experience because you already are everything. So to have everything denies you the experience. You get to rediscover that you are everything. That is the game you are playing. It is a game of self-discovery. It is a game of oneness, and it is an eternal game. Take another look at your life from that vantage point, and you will see the genius of it. How it has been constructed precisely to give you the experiences you want. To lay the groundwork for more. That is why you sometimes must experience less. Because there is a certain amount of freedom that you experience, you are given a taste of what it is like to be completely without limitation. However, you are yet to experience true freedom. You are beings who decided to give yourselves an experience of less freedom. It is your choice to have an experience. But many of you are looking at it as oppression. You see the others who are playing the role of oppressor, and you see the ways in which you are being oppressed. And you think they are the causes of the oppression. But you forget that you are the creators of everything. So you created the idea of oppression because you wanted to have an experience. Now that you are aware of what is going on, many of you are taking the stance that something must be done. Something has to change in order for you to be less oppressed and to have more freedom. And you are correct. But as you shout and shake your fists at the ones who have been playing the role of oppressor, you simply continue to give them power. As you recognize that you are the ones who gave them the power in the first place, and they agreed to take it, so that you could have the experience you are having, then you can actually do something about it. You can change. You must change the way you see your reality in order for it to change. If you were to take an approach to those who are playing the role of oppressor, you could send them your unconditional love. That is a difficult role as well. It may not seem like it to you. But how do you think it feels to play that role? Do you think they feel good? Do you think they are in love with life? No. That is why to love them in their place is to love yourselves in yours. You are not bad, and they are not bad. You are equally good. And as you begin to look for the good in these circumstances that you have created, you can see the unity that exists within it. And you will. And you have. Now, as you begin to claim your personal power, and realize you do not have to take from another to have the experience you desire, you will begin to live your lives in freedom, in unity with the collective, and in love with your life and those around you. What is a relationship? What is a partnership? Why is it that you seek another? Why is it that you want that very specific type of interaction with another? We suggest that you are seeking a connection to your source. You want to feel warm and fuzzy. That is what those feelings are. They are connection to source. We like that you want that. We think it is a good idea. But how you seek it out, at times, causes you to miss the mark. Even when you find that special someone who makes you feel warm and fuzzy, they are not always available. They are not always going to inspire that within you. So then you blame them for not giving you that feeling, and you look for another who will. It is always the feeling you are seeking. Remember that. You can get the feeling in any number of ways. You do not have to ask another person to give you that feeling over and over and over. You can create it in yourself. Regardless of whether there is someone special in your life. It can come from a sunset, from an animal, from a delicious meal. It can come from loving yourself. It can come from seeking it. It can come from simply wanting it, wanting the feeling. Knowing that it is a feeling that originates inside you. And since you always have the ability to reach inside you for it, you are never without that warm, fuzzy feeling. But sometimes you pretend that you are by telling yourself that there are so many reasons why you cannot feel it. We suggest you let go of those reasons, and simply feel warm and fuzzy. Because you can and because you are that feeling. Open your heart to a person who you have previously closed it off to. Make room for an individual who has rubbed you the wrong way. Give that person the same love you reserve for those who you find more pleasant to be around. Watch how they transform as a result of your decision to do so. By opening yourself up to that loving state of being, you neutralize their less lovable side. And you give them the opportunity to show you who they really are. Remember that these individuals are there to activate you. Someone has to let you know that you are harboring ill will in your fields. They are the ones who really are just messengers, helping you uncover what needs to be cleared in order for you to live more harmoniously with yourself and with your world. So be especially grateful to those who are willing to do this for you. Recognize that they are not just asserting this awfulness into your experience. They have come by invitation, and with your acceptance, they will be excellent party guests. Have you noticed that when you are engaged with another, you are giving and receiving, whether it is information, energy, goods, services, there is always an exchange happening. When you are aware of this exchange, more consciously, you are able to be more deliberate about what it is you are giving and receiving. You want to be aware, at all times, of what it is you are putting out and what it is you are allowing in. Many of your exchanges are lopsided, and you know this, and you accept it. Sometimes you give more than you receive, and sometimes you receive more than you give. But overall, in your lives, you will find that there is an equal exchange of energy going out and coming in. If there is not, feel the imbalance. And usually, that is a call to some sort of change. Welcome that change. You have more access to all resources than you acknowledge. All imbalances are a result of your inability to see the truth in that statement. If you were to realize that there is no shortage, you would be more willing to give. And you would always receive equally. We ask you to imagine now what that would feel like to you. Take note of how good it feels. Now you are able to access frequency. And that is not something you can necessarily see, but it is something that you can feel. So allow yourselves to feel the frequency of unlimited access to energy and equal exchange. We have another perspective for you. You see, there is no separation at all. There is no other. There is no self. There is no God. Those concepts imply that there is a separation. This is all an illusion. You cannot be separate from anyone or anything. It cannot be separate from you. So we are having the experience of this so that we can enjoy that illusion. You are only going to realize that it was all you all along. It is never a question of whether you will reunite with that which you call God, or Source, or all that is. It is only a matter of when, and when is irrelevant. Yes, it is always the case that you have the knowing inside of you. You choose to have the illusion because the illusion is fun. The game is for the purpose of having a new experience. You like playing, pretending, putting on costumes and feeling like you would feel if you were someone else. That is all you are doing here. There is really no one else. This is why you continue to play out your stories, even though you have been told over and over again that you are source energy. Begin to appreciate the opportunity to live in this way and to pretend, instead of thinking that there is something wrong with you for forgetting. You need to forget in order to have your little fun. It is a delight to watch sit in the balcony seats and observe your performances. We are big fans of your work. Break a leg. You have begun to realize that you are more than what you see. You are more than what you can experience with your 5 senses. You have begun to discover that there is more than just you in your physical body. You are recognizing that there are different aspects of you in different sectors of the universe, and you wish to know what other places your soul is. It is our wish for you that you simply know that this is the case and perhaps feel from time to time for those connections, without then making those incarnations more significant than this one. Than where you are now currently focused. Because you are not here to simply realize that you have these other aspects of yourself in other parts of the galaxy and the universe. And then return your consciousness to those incarnations. You are here on purpose. This is the incarnation you selected. You are here because you want to be here. To have the experiences you can only have while in these bodies, while aligned with this planet, and at this time. So while it is exciting for you to think about where else you are existing as a soul, it is not necessary for you to know about all of your different incarnations in order to live fully in this one. So we suggest that you examine what is in front of you now. rather than escaping into these other portions of yourself, in the hopes that they will have some answers for you that you do not have for yourselves. Because you are focused here, you are the best teachers for yourselves. You have the most knowledge of this reality because you experience it firsthand. We wish to awaken within you that power. We want you to know who you are, and we want you to have the experience of who you are being. We want you to find balance between the two and to experience what it is like to know your multidimensional nature, your source energy nature, and to have an experience of a being who is aligned with a physical form and interacts with other beings in their physical forms. We want you to hold both knowingnesses in your consciousness, so that you can have a fuller experience of this reality. And it is our wish for you that you have the best of all worlds. What is your current frequency? What do you want to do? When you understand that you can do anything, that you have been choosing all along the experiences that you have, when you are able to notice the moment when you are choosing the next reality you will experience, that is a moment to celebrate. Because even if it is a moment where you are choosing a reality you don't prefer, you are aware that you are doing it. And that is the first step. Awareness is key to your evolution. So once you are aware, you then can change the frequency of your being in order to select a different reality. And when you do this consistently, you will get to live your life exactly as you wish to live it. It is no more complex than this. You are at the point now where you can choose, consciously, and you can live your lives deliberately. All it takes is for you to let go of any ideas of continuity. Let go of the notion that because yesterday I experienced this, that means today I will experience it again, only slightly different. You are now in the driver's seat. Determine how it is you want to feel. Relax into the knowing that when you decide you want to feel joy, and you hold the frequency of joy, your life must reflect that. Because you are in the midst of a shift. You are wanting the shift to happen so that your lives can change for the better and so that you can operate as a being who lives by their own terms. We are here to tell you, you have already shifted. You are now in the fourth dimension. This means you have all the abilities that you will have when you continue on to the fifth. So, allow yourselves to put this knowing into practice and to create the reality you want to experience right now.